Hi, my name is Tina Leone. I'm an adoption officer in the Office of Children's Issues at the Department of State. I'm excited to introduce a new video we developed for adoption service providers on the Adoption Tracking Service, or ATS. We developed this video to acquaint new users and refresh existing users of the ATS on critical components of the system you will be using. We also want you to keep an eye out on our ATS page on our public website, adoption.state.gov, for other future enhancements on the ATS. We invite you to share other feedback you have for additional training tools or guidance you need, and of course your specific questions on ATS at our mailbox, adoption@state.gov. We stand ready to provide you technical assistance through our mailbox, ca-ats-help@state.gov, and please remember to copy us at adoption@state.gov to make sure we get you the answer you need. In the meantime, we look forward to hearing from you, and enjoy the video. Thank you for joining us for this overview of the Adoption Tracking Service, or ATS, for Accredited Adoption Service Provider, or ASP users. We will start with a brief overview of your role and obligations in the system and move to a demonstration of elements of the program you will be using most often. To start, I'm going to address why we have ATS and your role as an accredited ASP in ATS. The most straightforward reason is that it's the law. It is also your connection to the Department of State. The Intercountry Adoption Act of 2000, or IAA, requires the establishment of a registry to retrieve information on pending and closed cases. The department uses this information to comply with Section 104 of the IAA, which requires us to report to Congress every year on adoption statistics. And we need your input for much of that information. It is also a great way to inform our policies on adoption. So what goes into ATS? We need you to enter contact information as well as immigration and emigration case information. We ask you to update your fees and contact information regularly. This is mandated by our annual reporting requirement, but also the accreditation regulations. Note that you are not providing case-specific fees, but rather the range of adoption fees, including the lowest, highest, average, and the median of such fees in the country in which you work. On immigration case, or incoming cases, we are looking for ASPs to update milestones related to immigrant visa cases related to adoptions, which are the IH3, IH4, IR3, and IR4 visa categories. Our consular officers abroad have already entered the cases in another database linked to ATS. We just need you, as the ASP, to update milestones happening outside the visa process in the case. The work on outgoing cases, for example, cases where the child is emigrating from the United States, is a little more involved. The ASP is the source of emigration or outgoing cases. We will cover this in more detail now in a step-by-step demo of the system. Away we go! So let us start with entering the system. You access our system on the adoption.state.gov website here. So you can find the ATS page by selecting the Information for You tab and navigating to the agency's subsection. The link to ATS is in two locations on the agency page. You will find several links related to ATS at the bottom of the ATS main page. To access ATS, first you must apply for a PKI certificate, a downloadable software application that allows for secure access to the system on the computer on which you will access ATS. This is a three-step process, so please read the rules of security behavior and the application directions before filling out and submitting the form. We have a short video on applying for your PKI access and installing the software on the ATS page on adoption.state.gov. Once you've downloaded the certificate, you go to the ATS database itself and create a user ID and password with the control number you have saved from your PKI application form. We strongly recommend logging in at least once a month to keep your account active and to ensure you remember your login information. Once you are in the system, you will need to fill in your contact and fee information. You will enter the Contact and Fee section of the ATS through the link labeled Change Adoption Service Provider Contact Data from the home screen, which looks like this. Start by entering your contact information by clicking the Add button. You can edit contact information by using the Edit button. Be sure to verify the data by clicking Finish at the top of the page and save your data. Then enter your fees in the fee schedule fields at the bottom of the page. Click through the fee schedule to enter the applicable fees. There are multiple fee types as identified in the accreditation regulations. Once again, this is not fee reporting for a specific case, but rather a range of fees for the country that you work in. This is an estimate of your agency fees for a particular country program. Fees can be updated as needed, but please do ensure that you go in to check at least in late summer or early September to confirm your fees are up to date for the end of annual reporting period. For more information on the information that we need on the fees in ATS, you can turn to the accreditation regulations in section 22 CFR 96.43. This is information that we then process to make our annual report to Congress pursuant to section 104 of the IAA. You should be aware of the provisions on fee disclosures to prospective adoptive parents and reporting requirements to the Council on Accreditation in the Hague Policy and Procedure Manual for more information. Now on to immigration or incoming cases. You will enter this section of the database through the link labeled Search Immigration Cases from the home screen. Once again, these are pre-populated in the system and you are simply editing milestones in an immigrant visa case. After clicking the link, a search field will appear and you can select a specific case to update. You will need one of 3 search criteria to search for a case. The case ID, which starts with a 3-letter city code associated with the embassy or consulate processing the immigrant visa for the case, the name of the family, and the name of the child. Note, if you leave the search criteria blank and simply hit search, it will return all cases assigned to your agency. For more information, we have a separate video to help with looking up immigration cases. It is important to know that cases will not enter ATS until it comes to the Department of Stateside for processing. For instance, a Hague Convention or I-800 case will only appear in ATS after USCIS has provisionally approved an I-800 petition and transferred the case to the Department of State. A non-convention case will not show up in ATS until USCIS is done with its side of the processing. So, if you know that the family has a visa appointment scheduled, you have followed the steps in our quick guide to find cases, and you still cannot find the case in ATS, please contact us at adoption@state.gov and we will help you find it. So what do you need to do with your immigration or incoming cases in ATS? We need you to report milestones occurring in an inter-country adoption case outside of the visa process in the follow-up section of the immigration or incoming case, particularly if an adoption disrupts. Section 104 of the IAA requires that we include the number of disruption and dissolutions for convention cases. Here is how you enter a disruption milestone in a case. You want to verify everything was entered correctly, save, and confirm the data to ensure proper saving. You can also use the follow-up section to provide milestones on information such as dates of post-placement or adoption reports, and when an adoption was finalized in the United States, though this is not required for our annual report. The Council on Accreditation must also receive information related to disruptions through their own form every year. For more information on disruption and dissolution reporting requirements for COA, please also see Section 10 of the Hague Policy and Procedure Manual for more information. Now on to emigration or outgoing cases. This section is only accessible by ASPs accredited to perform outgoing adoption services. The source of emigration or outgoing case information is the ASP. So, in contrast to immigration cases, an ASP can actually create emigration cases. To access emigration cases, select the Search Emigration Adoption Cases link from the home screen. Start by searching for a case to ensure there are no duplicate cases. If you receive no search return results, you can create a new case. Enter the biographic and contact data in the corresponding sections for the family and child. Use the Add, Edit, and Delete buttons to create and correct information about the case. When you are filling out the child's name, make sure that it is the adoptive name under the name field, and under the alias, enter the birth name. The name that you put in the child's name field is what is eventually printed on the Hague Adoption Certificate or Custody Declaration. You can then enter the applicable milestones under the Milestones section. Make sure that they are completely filled out, and if the case is subject to the convention, that they are in order. Again, verify everything was entered correctly and save the data. This concludes the Introduction to ATS video. If you have any questions about the Adoption Tracking Service, please contact us at adoption@state.gov. If you need any technical assistance, please contact ca-ats-help@state.gov. We also invite you to review information on our quick guides for downloading your PKI certificate and searching for immigration cases. We welcome any suggestions for any other training guides or sessions related to ATS at adoption@state.gov. Thank you.